Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitayah Pataye Namaha. Om Shri Ramachandraya Namaha. Atulita Baladhamam Hema Shailabhadeham Danujavana Krishanum Jnaninam Agraganyam Sakala Guna Nidhanam Vanaranam Adhisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatan Namami. Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatan Namami. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Dhyayami Chinmayanandam Gurudevam Mahamatim Prema Purnam Kriyashilam Sada Lokahite Ratam Kripalum Sundarakaram Samartham Satyadarshinam Vacha Tattva Prakashinya Shoka Moha Vinashinam. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Namah Shri Tulsi Dasa Sadvarishtaya Dhimate Puritam Hridayam Yena Rama Premamrite Name. Om Shri Tulsi Dasaya Namaha. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Today is Param Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji's Mahasamadhi Divasa. It was on the 3rd of August 1993. Param Puja Gurudev dropped his body and attained Mahasamadhi. To observe this particular day, we will sing one bhajan on Gurudev and then proceed with our Ramayana. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Gurudevaya Namo Namo. He Parameshwara Namo Namo. He Parameshwara Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara Rupa. Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara Rupa. Trimurti Rupa Namo Namo. Trimurti Rupa Namo Namo. Trigunatita Namo Namo. Trigunatita Namo Namo. Anandarupa Namo Namo. Anandarupa Namo Namo. He Parameshwara Namo Namo. He Parameshwara Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Bhavatita Bhagyavidata. Bhavatita Bhagyavidata. Bhavabhayaharana Namo Namo. Bhavabhayaharana Namo Namo. Karunarupa Namo Namo. Chinmaya Rupa Namo Namo. Chinmaya Rupa Namo Namo. He Parameshwara Namo Namo. He Parameshwara Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. On this very auspicious day, I invoke Param Pujya Gurudev's grace and blessings on all of us who are devotees of Pujya Gurudev, to bless us, to guide us, and make it possible for you and me to achieve that which he has already achieved. With these prayers at the feet of Param Pujya Gurudev, we will now proceed with our Ramayana. See a Biyaha Bi Rama. Sita ji will definitely marry Ramchandraji, and Ramchandraji will definitely marry Sita ji only. Garab duri kari nripan ke. The good, wonderful princes and kings who were present, they say, now the fact is that Rama will marry Sita ji will bring definitely lot of discomfort to all the other arrogant kings. Jitiko saka sangrama Dasaratha kerana bankure. How can they ever win a battle with the sons of Dasharatha? Therefore, it is vyartha. And that is what he says in the 246th Chaupai, which we will read. Vyartha marahu jani gala bajai manamodaka niki mukha bhuka butai sikha hamari suni parama punita jagadamba janahu jiya sita जगत पिता रघुपति बिचारी, भरी लोचन छबिलेहु निहारी, सुंदर सुखद सकल गुण राशि, ये दो बंधु संभुवर बासी, सुधा समुद्र समीप बिहाई, मृगजलु निरखि मरहु कत धाई, करहु जाई जा कहु जोई भावा, हम तो आजु जन्म फलु पावा, अस कहीं भले भूप अनुरागे, रूप अनूप बिलोकन लागे, देखहि सुर नभ चढ़े भिमाना, बरसहि सुमन करहि कलगाना, जानि सुअवसरु सीय तब, पठई जनक बोलाई, चतुर सखी सुंदर सकल, सादर चली लवाई, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भई सब संतन की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Those rajas who are Rama Anuragi, he says, are people who in a manner of saying advise the other kubuddhi, kapata princes and kings. Vyartha. It is a wasteful thing. What? Marahu jani gala bajai. It is wasteful for you to boast about your prowess. It is so wasteful about talking about your valor when such a wonderful person is in front of us. Mana modakaniki bhukabutai. You are boasting of your prowess. Talking about the other kings and princes, the noble kings, they say, you are trying to enjoy imaginary sweets. What do you mean by imaginary sweets? I imagine probably a rasgulla. While I am imagining rasgulla, I may imagine, but I cannot enjoy that sweet. The sweet is not experienced. That also becomes an imagination only, which is not practical, which can never materialize. Therefore, why are you talking more, boasting about yourself, and all those talks are what? It is like imaginary sweets. It won't give that sweetness. It won't give that joy. Sikha hamari suni parama punita. Listen, my dear wonderful princes and kings, listen to this most sacred advice of us. Jagadamba janahu jiya Sita. Please, janahu, please know what? Sita Jagadamba. Sita ji is Jagadamba, the very mother of the whole universe itself, Adi Shakti itself. Jagata Pita Raghupati Bichari. You must think. Bichari meaning what? Analyze. Think. What? Recognize that Jagata Pita is Raghupati. Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji is Jagata Pita and Janaki, Sita ji is Jagadamba. Therefore, they are the right pair. Bhari lochana chabi lohu nihari. You know what you should do as an intelligent people. You claim yourself to be intelligent. What should you do? Feast your eyes. Feast your eyes meaning what? Enjoy. By what? Looking at them beautifully. With noble attitudes. Accept the supremacy of Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji and accept that Sita ji is Jagadamba Bhavani and they are the right pair. Therefore, why are you wasting time? Enjoy looking at them. Feast your eyes. And the beauty of Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji. Sundara Sukhada Sakala Guna Rasi. Who are they? Both of them actually we must add. They are the very mine of beauty, joy, and all virtues. Sundara, Sukhada, Sakala Gunarasi. They are the very embodiment of that. Yedo Bandhu Samburavasi. Not only that, these two brothers are there in the heart of Shivji himself. Shivji himself meditates upon Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji. That is the status, that is the glory of Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji. Sudha Samudra Samipa Bihai. When the ocean of nectar, Sudha Samudra Samipa Bihai, it is very next to you. What? The ocean of nectar which will give you the permanent happiness, bliss itself, ecstasy itself, when it is very next to you, Mrigajalu Nirakhi Marahu Katadu. What are you trying to do? When nectar is, the ocean of nectar is next to you, you are searching what? To quest your thirst, you are running behind mirage water. Can a mirage water satisfy my thirst? It is never existent. When you have the nectar of ocean next to you, you are running behind mirage water. And what? You are actually going towards death only. Marahu katadhai. You will reach death only. Therefore, don't run there. Karahu jai ja kahu choi bhava, hum tau aaj janam phalu bhava. Anyway, do whatever you want. At the outset, even in Bhagavad Gita, at the end, Krishna says, Yathechasi tatha kuru. Do whatever you... All this while he talked about so many shlokas he spoke. So much of advice he gave to Arjuna. And finally he said, Yathechasi tatha kuru. Do whatever you like. Similarly, these noble kings, they also say, Karahu jai ja kahu joi bhava. According to your bhavana, you do whatever you want. Hamatavaj janam phal pava. Today, we have experienced what? The very purpose of our janma, our birth in this world. We are reaping the results of all our punya karma. Asakahi bhale bhupa anurage, rupa anupa bilokana lage. Having said that, all these noble kings, they turned towards Ramchandra ji, and then they enjoyed looking at the great form of Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji, which is incomparable, anupa vilokana. A beauty that is incomparable. Dekhahi surana bhachade bimana. And after that, meanwhile, all the suranabha, all the suras, that is the celestial beings, Nabha Chade Vimana, they all got into their aerial cars. Pushpaka Vimana, which can fly in the air, all of them got into it. Barashahi Sumana Karahi Kalagana. Then they all rained flowers on Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji and singing glorious songs, praising the glory of Ramchandra ji and of course Sita ji. Jani suavasaru siya taba pathai janaka bolai. Now, finding that this is the appropriate time, suavasaru. Jani siya taba pathai janaka bolai. The Raja Janaka called for Sita, asked them to bring Sita to the darbar, to that particular stadium. Chatura sakhi sundara sakala sadara chali lavai. All her companions, friends, all of them, they brought her. Whom? The one, both even the friends, the sakhi, all of them were very beautiful. They were wise. Several times this has been stated. Why? Because they are not like ordinary people. They are only servants. No, not like that. They are all beautiful and they are all wise, meaning well learned and very accomplished people. All of them are. And all of them together, Sadara Chalilavai, they with due honor, with due honor brought Sita ji. Now, a very, very important point I would like to mention. Tulsi wrote Jagadamba Bhavani, meaning what? Mother of the universe is Bhavani. Now, this is very, very important point to be noted. Bhavani, who is the Jagadamba, who is the mother, how can you marry the mother? Think. Now, when we are all the children of Bhavani, how can a son marry the mother? How sinful it would be, how ridiculous it would be. Isn't it? Therefore, Jagadamba is Bhavani. She can only get married to Jagat Pita. Who is that? Ramchandra ji. Therefore, all these people, the kings and princes, they cannot even dream of getting married to Jagadamba. Jagadamba Bhavani is the mother. Therefore, you cannot give up. This is one very important point. Alright. And Rama is described, very interestingly, you will find, Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji, every anga was described. His arms was described, long arms, Ajanubahu. And then his broad chest, like a lion or like an elephant, was discussed. His face was beautifully discussed. His eyes was discussed. Every part of the body has been described. But if you find, Sita ji is never described with anga. She is not described with any part. This is very, very important. Anga Pratyanga is not being described by Maryada. Stri Maryada is to be held. Therefore, a Stri should never be described as a physical body, as a mortal body. And especially Sita, who is Jagadamba, how can we describe? Therefore, Tulsidas ji also does not describe Sita ji. He has described Ramchandra ji. Continuing in the 247th Chaupai, सिय शोभा नहीं जाई बखानी जगदम्बिका रूप गुण खानी उपमा सकल मोहि लघु लागी प्राकृत नारी अंग अनुरागी सिय बरनियते उपमा देई कुक भी कहाई अजसु को लेई जौ पट तरियंतीय समसिया जग असि जुबति कहाँ कमनिया गिरा मुखर तन अर्ध भवानी रति अति दुखित अतनुपति जानी विषबारुनी बंधु प्रिय जेहि कहिय रमा सम किमि बैदेहि जौ छवि सुधा पयो निधि होई परम रूपमय कच्छपु सोई शोभार जु मंदरु सिंगारु मथै पानी पंकज निज मारु एहि विधि उपजय लच्छी जब सुंदरता सुख मूल तदपि सकोच समेत कबि कहीं सिय समतूल सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भय सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। सिय शोभा नहीं जाई बखानी. Sita ji is walking along with her companions, very beautifully dressed, with all ornaments, etc., etc. Tulsidas says, Nahi jai bakhani, you cannot, how can you ever describe Sita ji's beauty? Impossible. Siya shobha nahi jai bakhani, jagadambika rupa guna khani. She's a Khani. Khani means mine. We say gold mine like that. Here, Guna Khani. She is a very mine. She is a very abode. She is a very treasure. An embodiment of all gunas, all virtues. Who? Jagadambika. Both Rupa and Guna. This we also see in very many places. Rupa and Guna. Normally in common life, in our worldly life, where there is Rupa, there won't be Guna. Where there is Guna, there may not be Rupa. Of course, it doesn't mean that it will never be. But by and large we see, with due respect to those who have got Rupa and Guna, we do namaskaram to such people. But all the time you will find, wherever there is Rupa, the Guna is in deficit. Why? Lot of ahankara. I am a beautiful person. Like that, so many, taking that itself, they take people for a ride. And those who have got Guna, they may not have any Rupa. Because they don't have any proper form, very beautiful form, people don't respect them for their Guna. These we find in common life. But here you find Sitaji, who is beauty personified, at the same time an embodiment of all virtues. Jagadambika Rupa Guna Khani. Upama Sakala Mohila Ghulagi. He says, Upama means all the comparisons what you may make. Oh, she is like lotus flower, she is like the moon, she is like that, she is like this. All comparisons to me, Tulsi writes, is very poor and very little, very insignificant when compared to the real Sitaji. Prakrita Nari Anga Anuragi. If people who talk about Sitaji with reference to Prakrita Nari means what? Mortal women, who are commonly general women. Prakrita Nari, Anga Anuragi, with reference to their people, that Prakrita Nari is Anga. How can I accept that? I cannot accept. Why? Sitaji is not the mortal, normal women who are worldly in nature, but she is Chinmayi. Sitaji is Jnanamayi. She is Jagadamba. And therefore, for such a great soul, what examples can we give? And then he also takes up one or two. He doesn't take up the Sarala Nari into picture, as Tulsi has put Prakrita Nari. Siya Bharaniya Tei Upama Dei. Just for the sake of a discussion. Now please note here, now this is very, very important. The discussion that is given is from a different standpoint. Alright. So, we should not think as it is given and then, reject. Now look at the examples he has taken. You and I will get a little scared. But please note, it is with reference to the fact that Sitaji is so beautiful. Beautiful in the sense what? Sharira Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankara. All of it is so wonderful. How? It is explained here. Kukabi kahaya jasu kolei. And if somebody, kukabi, meaning what? Very loose-tongued, so-called kavi. If such a people try to write about the beauty of Sitaji, people will say he is a wasteful poet, unworthy poet, who doesn't know what is the sun. I will only become, I will get ill repute. My reputation will go away. Therefore, I cannot write anything about the Sitaji. But however, he says, Jao pathatariyati samasiya. If should Sita be linked to a very common woman of this material creation, Jaga asi jubati kahan kamaniya? How can she be compared In this world, which woman is there in this world to be compared with Sita? Impossible. He puts all the entire world's women put together and puts them aside and says, impossible. Why? Sita ji is beyond all this. And then look at this. Gira mukharatana aradha bhavani. He tries to see how he can compare with Saraswati, Bhavani and Lakshmi. What he says. Now please note. Here when he talks about Saraswati, Lakshmi and Bhavani, we must first take it at the face value what he speaks, and then we'll go to the depth. Okay. Gira Mukhara. Mukhara means the one who constantly speaks. Who? Saraswati ji. That she has given the Vedas, she has given all the Shastras, and she constantly talks about Shastra, Veda, etc., etc. She is never quite, like a chatterbox almost. Now we should not immediately belittle Saraswati ji, we cannot talk like that. Tulsi Dasi is taking for a particular context. We have to look at the context, but don't belittle the others, please. So we are not going to try to pull down Saraswati ji or Bhavani, etc. But he gives the characters and says Sita ji is beyond that. But who is Sita ji? Sita ji is definitely beyond that, of course. Right? You can't compare even Saraswati, Bhavani and Lakshmi, it seems. My God. Gira Mukhara. She is a goddess of speech, Saraswati. And for instance, she is constantly talking. Tana Arada Bhavani. Bhavani you can't compare. Why? Half of Bhavani is Shiva only. Bhavani is only half. The left half of Shiva, that is why we call Ardhanarishwari to Bhavani and Ardhanarishwara to Shiva. So half of Parvati and half of Shiva is together. Therefore she is actually not complete at all. Without Shiva, Shakti is not there. Without Shakti, Shiva is incomplete. So, Sita ji is complete. Therefore, she cannot be Bhavani. Rati ati dukhita atanu pati jani. If you compare it to Rati, impossible. Why? Rati, who is the consort of Kamadeva, Rati, she is extremely distressed. She is frustrated. Why? Kamadeva was given Shapa and he is now Asharira. Atanu. Atanu means what? Asharira. He is without Sharira. Rati is unable to enjoy without the Tanu of Kamadeva. So even though Rati is very beautiful, Sita ji cannot be compared to Rati. Vishabaruni Bandhu Priyajehi. What to talk of Lakshmi now? Lakshmi ji, now I will read this 4-5 lines and then I'll give you the gist of it. Vishabaruni bandhu priyajehi kahiya rama sama kimi baidehi. He says, how can I compare Sita ji to Rama? Rama, who is Rama? Lakshmi ji. And where is Lakshmi ji? She came out from the churning, isn't it? Lakshmi ji came out. And what did she bring along with her? She brought poison. And look at the cursor. Wherever Lakshmi comes, now we look at it from our standpoint. Wherever there is wealth, if you compare Lakshmi to wealth, wherever there is wealth, Visha Baruni, you will find poisonous attitude and, liquor, etc., etc. Meaning what? Indulgence into pleasures of life, which will only graduate to frustration, pain, suffering, disturbance, etc., etc., etc. So when you compare with the wealth, when we compare Lakshmi to just wealth, then this is what you will get. Poison and, there will not be any kind of reputation, respect. That is why Gurudev would say, don't run behind Lakshmi because of wealth. Wealth in the sense what? Money, what we understand as wealth. Of course, Lakshmi has got a different this one that again will come at a later time. We will discuss more about it. Here the point is to bring Sitaji at the pedestal to say there is no comparison to Sitaji. Wherever there is wealth, wealth meaning material wealth. Please remember this. There is only issues. All those people who have got wealth have got tremendous issues to face, tremendous challenges to face, lots of pain and suffering, comes along with it. Kahiya Rama sama kimi baidehi. Therefore, when all these negative things are surrounded there, how can I compare with Vaidehi, Sitaji? Therefore, Sitaji cannot be compared to Rama, Lakshmi also. And then he says, Jaun chhabi sudha payonidhi hoi. Now this beautiful 4 lines. Jaun chhabi sudha payonidhi hoi, paramaroopamaya kachchapu soi, sobharanu mandaru singharu, mathai pani pankaja nijamaru. No, it's a very beautiful expression of a particular simile, we may say. What is that? In the ocean of nectar, payonidhi, sudha payonidhi, in the ocean of nectar, paramamurupamaya kachapusoi, very beautiful tortoise, very strong, at the same time very beautiful tortoise, goes under the parvata there, with which the churning takes place. Vasuki, Sarpa. And later what comes out is nectar. How does the nectar come? Lakshmi Devi brings the nectar up. Therefore, nectar, the ocean of nectar, beautiful tortoise. Devi Lakshmi bringing nectar also. Everything is beautiful. Sobha Raju Mandaru Sigaru. Sobha means what? The very auspicious beauty itself becomes Rajju, the rope. Actually, what is that? Vasuki. Alright. Mathai Pani Pankaja Nijamaru. Himself, Bhagavan churns with his own hands. When he does, Ehi Bidi Upajay Lachijaba. In this way, when the churning is done, Lakshmi is born from that. Sundarata Sukhamula. She is beautiful. Sukhamula, the very source of all beauty. Tadapi Sakhocha Sameta Kabi. Even then, if she is born out of all that which is beauty incarnate, in spite of it, Tadapi Sakhocha Sameta Kabi Kahahi Siya Samatula. He says, Sitaji cannot be compared to that beautiful Lakshmi also, because Lakshmi comes with so many other, what do you call it, results, we may say. From when we think Lakshmi as wealth, this is a very important point to be noted. Otherwise, the wealth of Lakshmi is inner wealth. That comparison is different. This comparison is what? The prince and kings, they are comparing Sita. They are looking at Sitaji only in the standpoint of the physical form. Therefore, the comparison is only with the physical form. When Sitaji is compared differently, later we will see, when Sitaji is compared differently, Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga, the wonders of all the three put together is Sitaji itself, he says. We will see, further we will see. Alright, with that, now, that particular arena, that particular stadium is ready for the next particular show, where the Shiva Dhanush Yajna is going to take place. That we will take up tomorrow. Alright. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।